is built in. Had trouble with the audio, buffeting at high speed and you couldn't hear. So I got my GoPro set up with a external microphone, like a lapel microphone. So we're going to see how that works. So I got kind of both options going on today for you guys. Recent upgrade from stock rotors and pads to power stop, drilled and slotted with ceramic pads, which didn't come with the stock, even though this is a Z51 package. Interesting enough, got a GM Corvette engineer out here today. Spent a lot of time talking to him. He was actually part of the development of the C8. A lot of focus on making this car really reliable, knowing people are going to track it. So, yeah, talked to a guy. He had a C8 with 80,000 miles, did 100 track events with it. So, a really reliable car so far. Here, last session had to start on yellow, so this is what they call the blend line. You see up there we have a white line. You have to keep kind of keeping. So really this morning track was still wet with dew. Went off track. The first time ever that I went off like that. And good traction. Next step would be a World Cup. It has 200 tread wear. It'll be twice as grippy, but they'll wear out in probably 4 track sessions if you're lucky. And they're just really not good for day-to-day use. So a lot of people will, or some people will take the today, and this is the one group down from the advance. I like running the advance because it's gas everywhere, and I don't know, it's not worth it. Here you have 0.5. That shifting, that's an automatic mode, so I'm not paddle shifting. Always paddle shifting with this. You talk me into just trying it in automatic mode. The nice thing about that is doesn't really give you a good signal to shift when you're in paddle mode. So this setup is perfect. Dual clutch transmission, shifting to the right. Getting the transmission right. Horsepower. Come up on a Porsche here. He's held up by a car that overheated. Hopefully he's not on fire. Once again, you really got to pay attention. Just, if you see something like that, just ignore it, keep on driving. As you can tell, I came up on that Porsche a little bit because I was distracted by the BMW, smoke coming out of it. Maybe he could limp it in, but a bad day when your car breaks down here, obviously, especially if you drove it in. It makes for a really bad day. So if you walk out to it, he's still smoking. Yeah, looks like an M3. Like I said, I was talking to the GM engineer earlier. This car runs so cool. They did 24-hour full-out Nuremberg laps with this car, and to test it out, nothing could break down. So kudos to GM for really focusing on durability out on the track, knowing that people are going to push it, put some extra coolers in. The side vents, if you notice, those have a radiator in them, extra cooling up front, differential cooling. Heat is an enemy on the track. A lot of stuff just starts to wear. Also talking to the GM engineer, there's some misconception about needing to go to high grade brake fluid. He says it's not necessary. Recommendations from GM to change it after each track lap. He said that's just a lawyer deal. So he said no worries on just using the stock brake fluid, which I figured, because if they're tracking this thing around as hard as they do to check the reliability, they're just running stock brake fluid, which is .4. So all good. We're going to be hitting it now.
Once again, Group B, 5 minutes to grid.
This guy next to me is parking sideways, but that's his own problem.